We're going to talk about the NFL now, and of course, the preseason is underway. The season's about a little off, about a week and a half or so before it kick things off in September. It's
Fantasy
September 1st, guys.
Good too.
It's going to be good. All right, well, how about this?
I hope you don't have RG3.
That's actually to my point. Do not take Robert Griffin III. If you're going to take any Washington quarterback,
he's a sleeper.
It's got to be Kirk Cousins, because that's what seems to be the way they're going. They decided to. Jay Gruden, the head coach of the Redskins, said, you know what? I know earlier we were mentioning RG3 would be our guy, but he's looked horrible. He also received a concussion a couple weeks ago, and things just haven't gone the way it was. If you look at Cousins and the way he's played in the preseason, he's done well. Now, Colt McCoy would be the guy they want, because that's who they picked up during free agency, but it seems like Cousins is the guy with more experience. Is this a move that's going to work, or is it going to backfire for the Redskins? Kyle?
I think it's a little smoke and mirrors. I think they're trying to set up a situation where they can get rid of Robert Griffin III either via trade or release him next year, because I'm a huge diehard NFL guy, and all you hear about are the problems that go on in that locker room in terms of he's a spread quarterback. He can only run the option. Why is he doing the West Coast? He can't understand the language. And if you watch, and I've watched their last two preseason games, it looks like that offensive line's given up on him. Like the way they blocked for Cousins and McCoy was great. They had time to throw the ball. Robert Griffin wasn't scrambling, sitting back there with the ones, and I don't know how many times he got hit. It was almost like I think the teams had enough of the drama, and I think the guy will be fine. Just not in Washington.
Yeah, it's time to move on for him. Like, you look at that there's too many quarterbacks now. Now you're competing against McCoy and Cousins, and you have to hope you don't get injured, which has been his problem for so many years. So if I'm him, I want out. I want somewhere else. Someone will take a chance on him. Because it's not like he's a dud. It's not like he's the Ryan Leaf of his draft class where he came in and did nothing.
He had an exceptional rookie.
Oh,
You're
right. He had
not just good.
Yeah,
exceptional.
He played exceptional. He played well the next seasons. It's the injuries that hurt him. It's nothing to do with him coming in and just being a bad player. It's not, like I said, it's not the Leaf scenario. It's just he got injured, and that's what happened.
The thing you got to worry about, though, is let's look back to that rookie season. And they put a lot of stock in that season. It's been two horrible seasons since then. You had a 2,000-yard rusher in Alfred Morris that year. Your defense was better, right? So you got way better field position. And they were running option plays. They were running the run option. They haven't ran it since. The Shanahans were in there, and they're going, we got a spread quarterback. Let's do what he did in Baylor. It worked, caught the NFL off guard. If anyone knows anything about the NFL, the best coaches in the world, you find something that works, and the next week it won't be there. He's a one-trick pony. He's really, really good at that trick. A lot like my favorite player of all time, Michael Vick, who we thought was going to set world records, but can't find a job either. So I think the day of the running quarterback, if you're not past first, like Wilson and Rodgers and Andrew Luck and those type.
Yeah, I will say Vic did have a strong arm. That was one of his benefits.
Well, he could throw it a mile.
Yeah.
And you need that nowadays. The running quarterback's kind of gone, but you need the mobility to be able to scramble and be able to. But you need to have the league's a throwing league now, and we know that. So being able to scramble out is great. Be able to get away from coverage, great. But we're not looking at the 60 yards. Oh, we're gonna keep it and run. That's why we hate talking about Tebow on this show, because.
I'm a big fan of
I
Tebow,
like
and I
Tebow
think Tebow will make it.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
I want to get to another quarterback in this situation. I know you've kind of put the mute button on this as well. Of course, Tom Brady has to be the talk. Of course, everything involves Tom Brady now with the National Football League. They cannot come to a settlement. No matter how hard they try, they can't come to one. So the judge is going to have to determine the verdict, which could have to come down sometime later today, or tonight, that is, tomorrow, or as late as Friday. If you were the judge, put yourself in the position, you've heard all the evidence, where would you make the decision? What would be your verdict?
You go ahead.
This should have been thrown out a long time ago. In my opinion, it's ludicrous that it's even gotten this far. We're talking about inflated footballs, which were never really regulated anyway, and they allow the quarterbacks and the teams to play with whatever PSI they want, as long as it doesn't go below or above a certain number. Why not just throw it out the window, say inflate your ball to whatever you're going to do. It's equal for everybody. However you like it, you do it. And I don't know if Goodell and the NFL, they had such a bad year in the press last year with all the domestic cases that went on. Why wouldn't you this is your golden boy, man. This is your golden goose. Why are you dragging him through the mud? And I'm not a Patriots fan.
But if you can, but that's the whole point. I think it's because he's the golden goose. Because he has such this aura around him.
Making an example of him.
Exactly. And if you do, then all of a sudden, Roger Goodell gets that street cred that he's lost considerably, of course, with Ray Rice, Adrian Peterson, and the like. Andrew, what do you say? If you're the judge, what would your verdict be?
I want him gone for the whole year because I'm tired of this nonsense already. Like, it's been since the Super Bowl.
We've been so bad for the league.
Oh, I know that. Like, and I didn't draft him this year for that reason. So he's been my go-to quarterback for 3 years. I don't know at this time. Like, I'm so tired of listening to this about what are we doing. Like I said, this has been months, like 6, 7, 8 months we've been dealing with this, and they still haven't come to a decision yet. Hold up the suspension, just do it and get it over with. Like, to me, this is getting ludicrous.
Well, it sounds like they're going to try to prolong it anyway. It doesn't matter how it's going to go, even if he's
suspended. And he'll still keep playing until then.
They're going to push it all the way to the offseason.
Let's get to this real quick too, Kyle. I want to talk about tennis. U.S. Open underway. Serena Williams looking for the true Grand Slam, meaning she could hold all 4 in the same calendar year. It's never been done. It's been 3 on one side, 3 on the other, but it's never been done, holding all 4. She can do it. However, if you look at it, 4 of the top 10 seeded women in the singles, all gone. They've all been either eliminated or withdrew, Maria Sharapova being one of them, and of course Serena Williams with her dominance. Maria Sharapova doesn't really have to count. But with that said, does her legacy get tainted in some way because the competition isn't there for her?
How many major titles does she have total? 28.
A lot.
she's going for the mark.
Right?
Yeah.
She's the greatest female tennis player of all time. I don't think you're ever gonna taint her legacy. I think the thing that I'd be worried about if I was in her camp is with the illusion of lesser competition out there, this maybe being an easier win. Complacency is death. You get an unranked player on the biggest stage with the biggest camera. Sometimes that brings out the best in you. And hey, Disney makes movies about that sort of stuff. So I'd be worried. I would be worried if I was in her camp.
This less competition thing, I look at what Tiger Woods does in golf. No one sits there like Tiger Woods did not have the competition in golf when he was going crazy, and no one cared. Nobody was like, "Oh well, you don't have what you have now." If he had the field like he had then 10, 15 years ago, we might have a different conversation. But no one's there telling Tiger Woods, "Well, your field wasn't that great." He was that far ahead. She is that far ahead in tennis, and it's the same thing. And I put them in the same boat.
Okay, we're gonna have to leave it there. We're gonna be back with more Gloves Are Off, and we're gonna have our favorite game coming up next.